opinyon ng pag-uulat ng mag-uulat sa programang ito ay hindi ang pangunahing posisyon o pahayag ng pamumunuan ng organisasyong ito. The views and opinions expressed in this live report are those of the presenter and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the management of this organization. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Editorial. Today is Monday, March 7, 2022. I am Carlos Miguel Kanahashi, your host for today, and for technical assistant, Sir Mark Betita. And we're broadcasting simultaneously on InkluRadio and on the Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel. We shall commence our presentation in just a moment, and we will be back after our commercials. Now this.
Hello po, sir.
Commercials muna tayo.
Magsalita lang po kayo. Narinig ko po kayo continuous. Okay po, salamat po.
Para sa aking pamilya, para sa aking kapwa, at para sa bayan. Kahit mahirap, kahit masakit, mahal ko kayong lahat. Kahit anong mangyari, ikaw, ako, tayo. Ating isisigaw sa mundo. Inklusibong may tatag, angat buhay itatahak. Matapang pa rin tayo. Ang tropa, hindi nang iiwan. Ang senyas, isang instrumento. Ilang beses matumba, tayo'y huling baba. Luman ang ating pinanggalingan. Tayo ay muling liliwan. Para sa pangarap, para sa pamilya, at para sa bayan. Tayo ang ida. Tuloy ang inclusion.
Okay. Sir Mark? Okay, so welcome back to our editorial episode for this day. So in this topic, ladies and gentlemen, we will discuss to you what are the organizations, communities, and LGUs that promote inclusion in our country. So When we say organizations, companies, and LGUs that promote inclusion, what does this mean? What are the what are the companies and its entities involved in the promotion of inclusion in our society? So, without further ado, here now is our topic. Sir Mark will share screen now. The organizations, communities, and LGUs that promote inclusion. Next slide, please, Sir Mark. So, next slide, please. Okay. So, diversity and inclusion is strategically valuable in generating corporate and industry innovation and increasing profitability. Companies and organizations, communities, and LGUs that embrace diversity and inclusion practices are more likely to recruit and retain top talent, as well as to reduce turnover by increasing employee satisfaction, productivity, and innovation. According to Gardner, the is for all employees to maximize their discretionary impact, have a fantastic career, and work in a culture where they can expand their discretionary effort. Well, there are those that say that having a diverse organization could be harder because people are not alike. She said the reality is diverse companies are more innovative and outperform the competition by roughly 35%. So, we will tell you what are the organizations that promote inclusion in our countries. Next slide, please. This one. Ito yung Hands in Inclusion. So what is this organization? Hands in Inclusion Philippines, ladies and gentlemen, is a community of volunteers that involves inclusion everywhere in the Philippines. We are the community that hears stories from the people with disabilities who are advocating inclusion and learn from them to be aware of the need of the inclusion in the given society. In hopes that an inclusive Philippine society becomes tangibly possible. So, this organization, Hands in Inclusion, was founded last March 8, 2017 by our founder, Roylan Gorospe Marlang, a Pasayenyo self-advocate with autism from Pasay City, and it was started as Inclusion in Action. So, ang tanong, ito na. Sir Mark, ito yung tanong ko sa'yo. Ano ba ang hands in inclusion para sa'yo?
Ang Hands in Inclusion po ay tumutulong po sa mga kagaya po natin na PWD and mga may autism para po maging mabuti po ang kanilang kalagayan.
At also, Sir Mark, sino ang may-ari ng hands in inclusion at kailan nagsimulan yan?
Si Sir Roylan Marlang noong March 8, 2017.
Kasi actually, bukas na ang anniversary natin. Bukas.
Po eh.
So anyway, next slide please. Sir? Ito, yung ASP, Autism Society Philippines. This is a national nonprofit organization that is dedicated to the well-being of persons with autism spectrum disorder. Yung Autism Society Philippines, they're also in the pioneers of having employment opportunities through the Autism OK Philippines program. Next slide, please. Autism Strong Philippines. This is an advocacy project that promotes autism awareness in communities, schools, and workplaces across the country. Actually, it was another informal inclusive group inspired by Live Strong, and it was founded by Joel Reyes Nava, the convener of Autism Strong Philippines. Next slide, please. Project Inclusion Network. This organization is under Unilab Foundation. This is an inclusive organization wherein they improve access to work opportunities for persons with disabilities. Has reached over 1,800 persons with disabilities by facilitating career readiness assistance, skills training, and employment advocacy for persons with disabilities. The program is anchored on the belief that given the right conditions and the proper support, persons with disabilities can contribute to the workplace and the society, using and sharing an access to work model that prepares job seekers and employers and supports their transition. Project Inclusion Network has proven that hiring persons with disabilities is beneficial to the person with disability, the team, and the entire organization. Next slide, please. Ito, Association for Adults with Autism Philippines, or AAAP. This is an organization established by parents of individuals within the autism spectrum disorder. The organization aims to provide sustained enrichment opportunities and long-term care to individuals on the spectrum. The founder of this is Dr. Lirio Sobreviñas Cuvey. It will provide means to achieve personal growth, social interaction, and a cooperative life among their peers. Next slide, please. This one. Best Buddies Philippines. Best Buddies is a non-profit organization dedicated to establishing a global volunteer movement that creates opportunities for one-to-one friendships, integrated employment and leadership development, for persons or people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. This organization was founded in 1989 by Anthony Kennedy Shriver. Best Buddies is a vibrant international organization that has grown from one original chapter to almost 50 to 100 countries throughout the world. It was founded in his chapter in Georgetown University, and later he was expanded it through almost the entire countries throughout the world. Here in the Philippines, Best Buddies Philippines was started in 2014. It was led by then the executive director, Ange Onrubia. She held that position until 2015 when Ange Onrubia migrated to Canada, and Michelle Aventajado took over as the executive director of the organization. And it aims to continue the mission and vision of Best Buddies here in the Philippines. So, in the Philippines, for the Best Buddies Philippines chapters, the chapters of Best Buddies Philippines are just wait. And the logo of Best Buddies is designed by Keith Haring. And according to the guiding statements of Best Buddies Philippines, it states there, for our mission of Best Buddies Philippines, okay. So the mission and vision of Best Buddies Philippines is that Best Buddies Philippines mission and vision are to establish a global volunteer movement that creates opportunities for one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, inclusive living, and leadership development for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And the vision is to put Best Buddies out of business. So in the Philippines, the local friendship chapters are the La Salle College of St. Benilde, the La Salle Santiago Zobel, San Lorenzo Ruiz Elementary School, the Nazareth School, British School Manila, University of Santo Tomas, Vanguard Academy, Hope Azorian Citizen Chapter, Brightwoods School, and the Best Buddies Philippines North and South Citizen Chapters. Next slide, please. Special Olympics Philippines is a global organization that serves athletes with intellectual disabilities, working with hundreds of thousands of volunteers and coaches each year. Since the establishment of Special Olympics in 1968, the number of persons with and without intellectual disabilities who are involved with the organization has been growing, but the unmet need to reach more people with intellectual disabilities is staggering. Next slide, please. I Volunteer is promoting volunteerism by providing organizations with a platform and avenue to reach more volunteers that match their organization's needs, campaigning and promoting the concept of volunteerism in a broad manner, and to provide volunteers an easy way to find volunteering opportunities that matches their skills, interests, and their advocacy. Next slide, please. The Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines is a non-stock, non-profit organization founded in 1991 by a group of dedicated and committed parents and concerned physicians. It aims to offer support to families who have a child with Down syndrome and to initiate, develop, promote, encourage, and support programs and projects about Down syndrome. This organization believes that the initial reactions of new parents that typically bear disappointment, sorrow, fear, guilt, confusion, and anger can be replaced with positive attitudes of warmth, love, understanding, and hope. Next slide, please. Angat Persons with Disabilities United. This organization, ladies and gentlemen, Angat Persons with Disabilities United is organized and run by persons with disabilities with support of parents of children with disabilities and to those who are not capable of making their own decision and the decision rights, or rather, disability rights advocate. This organization was founded, I think, just during the pandemic by a senatorial candidate running for senator this year is Carmen Reyes Zubiaga. And also, Angat ni Kapansanan, ladies and gentlemen, that's the name of the soon to be a party list. But Angat Persons with Disabilities United is the name of the organization. The organization's goal is to share the experiences in our country in order to serve as references in developing a better strategy to achieve inclusion in our civilized society. Let this be our voice and venue to be heard and overcome barriers that hamper in achieving our goal of an inclusive society. So, also yung Angat Persons with Disabilities United, we also have um, their YouTube channel, Planet Inclusion, the official YouTube channel of Angat Persons with Disabilities United. And the segments are Madam CZ, Bulay-Bulay ng Buhay, and Serbisyong Angat. Actually, our guiding statements of Angat Persons with Disability is that ugnayan ng pagkakaisa, isang tinig na nangunguna sa sama-samang pagkilos para sa inclusion ng bawat taong may kapansanan sa bawat pamayanan. And the values are patience, love for others, empathy, dignity of work, God-centered, empowerment, and servant leadership. Next slide, please. A Child's Dream Foundation is one of the first pediatric therapy center for exceptional children with ADHD, autism, behavioral disorders, cerebral palsy, developmental language disorders, Down syndrome, vision problems, hearing problems, giftedness, learning disabilities, sensory impairments, and intellectual disabilities. It was founded by Dr. Francis Xavier Di Malanta, a developmental and behavioral pediatrician at St. Luke's Medical Center in Quezon City and in Taguig. It aims to provide holistic care for special children in northern Luzon and in the Cordilleras. Next slide, please. Leonard Cheshire Disability Philippines is a non-profit NGO established in September 2010. The goals are to have economic empowerment, wherein persons with disabilities can avail various services in order to search for livelihood or employment. It provides a wide range of services and is designed to open opportunities for persons with disabilities to develop marketable skills, social and life skills, access to wage employment, and engage in business enterprise. And its core programs are inclusive education, young voices, and economic empowerment. Next slide, please. This one. The Al-Kasamopi or the Alyansa ng May Kapansanan na nagmamaneho ng sasakyan at motor sa Pilipinas is an association wherein PWD drivers and their advocates campaign for safe and accessible roads. They came up with a blueprint and design for the PWD-friendly tricycle. And the Al-Kasamopi is a group of drivers. The drivers are persons with disabilities, including the deaf, and it was led by Joseph Delgado. Next slide, please. This one. The National Council on Disability Affairs is the national government agency that mandates to formulate policies and to coordinate the activities of all agencies concerning disability issues and concerns. This is the lead agency tasked to steer the course of program development for persons with disabilities and for the delivery of services to the sector. And currently, the executive director is Emer Rojas or Emerito Emer Rojas. So these are all the organizations that promote inclusion. Next slide, please. We will discuss the two um, communities that promote inclusion. PWD Village in Cainta, Rizal. According to Virginia Montilla, the head of PIDAO in Cainta, Rizal, we will call it Accessville Neighborhood Association. Why? Because it's going to be inclusive, decent, and accessible community for all persons with disabilities at Brookside Hills in Cainta, Rizal. Mayroon na PWD village dyan sa Cainta. Si Mayor Nieto po ay nag-asikaso nun. Kaya nagbabayad ang mga PWDs monthly by 4K or 5K para may bahay at lote ng mga PWDs dyan sa Cainta. Next slide, please. The Santo Niño Home for the Aged in Marikina City is a private facility that assists elderly and persons with disabilities adults with daily living activities. It provides elder care, personal care, and companion care to these individuals so that they may live with as much independence and dignity as their conditions allows. Next slide, please. Cainta Rizal. Why? Because Mayor Nieto is looking for potential partners that can help PWD beneficiaries. As what I said in the previous, they have a PWD village called Accessville in Brookside Hills in Cainta Rizal. Meron na daw PWD village sa Cainta. Si Mayor Nieto ang nag-asikaso noon. Kaya lang nagbabayad ng mga PWDs kada buwan para may bahay at lote. But helping the upaw is the search is Bayani, a mechanical engineer by training and a sales manager in a pharmaceutical firm. His limbs has been amputated because of diabetes. Next slide, please. Diversity and inclusion in PWD organizations, entities, companies, communities, and local government units has quickly become a top priority for organizations for all types and sizes. There is no overstating the importance of establishing a work environment where individuals with different backgrounds, languages, abilities, genders, race, age, ethnicity, culture, sexual orientation, and religions are represented. In addition, the work environment must aim to empower every person to achieve more, gain a sense of belonging, and to feel respected, valued, and heard. The reason why we need this, because this is for us to campaign on hands-on inclusion regardless of who you are and the way we were. It is done regardless of our race, our language, our religion in order to build a just and a humane society. And that concludes our topic. Next slide, please. Let us have the time for our election 2022 updates. COMELEC to stage 3 presidential, 2 vice presidential debates for elections. So, the COMELEC signed an agreement with Impact Hub Manila to produce 5 presidential and vice presidential debates. The title is Pilipinas Debates 2022, The Turning Point. The dates are as follows. March 19, the first presidential debate. March 20, the first vice presidential debate. April 3, second presidential debate. April 23 are the town hall debates for president and vice president. So, COMELEC acting chair Socorro Lin, in meeting in her speech, pleaded to candidates to attend their debates because it's the reason why they do this is important for helping voters to who to pick on May 9. She said, The public debate is the only avenue where you will witness all candidates side by each other. Walang ibang layunin ang debating ito kundi magtulungan ang mga botante na alamin kung saan kayo tumatayo sa iba't ibang issue at anong plano niyo para solusyonan ang mga ito. Comelec spokesman James Jimenez said that he has yet to obtain the written commitment of all candidates to attend. They told reporters, "We don't have a confirmation yet, but the candidates seem inclined. We will secure the written commitment within the week." And that concludes our election 2022 updates. Our next part of our show is Sino Ka? Know your candidates in the 2022 elections. Next slide, please. Our featured candidate for our episode is Nery Colmenares. He is a Filipino human rights lawyer and activist. He was an associate of the Asian Law Center at Melbourne Law School, wherein he was completing his PhD in law on the writ of amparo and the International Criminal Court. He is running for senator this year. He is a former member of the House of Representatives for the Bayan Muna party list from 2009 to 2016. He finished his studies at San Beda College and completed his law degree in the University of the Philippines College of Law. So let's vote wisely this May for this May 9, 2022. Let's now have the time to choose and vote wisely. Next slide, please. So here are some of the very important announcements. Okay, so here are some of our announcements. First of all, as part of our continuing efforts to support our organization, you please purchase our products in the Hands in Inclusion Philippines online shop. The products that we are selling are the tote bags, the t-shirts. For the t-shirts, we have the red, black, blue, white, and yellow. And all sizes are worth 275 pesos. For the One Inclusion Nation t-shirt, Talano Gold colored, sizes are ranged between small to XL and prices are ranged between 100, 325 to 300. Yes. Yes. Yes, thank you. Okay. So, it's unlimited stocks only. Yung 325 to 350 pesos yung small to XL yung Talano Gold colored. For our tote bags, sizes are ranged between medium to large and prices are ranged between 150 to 200 pesos. So how can you order there? To be very strict on payments. Payment first before purchase. We're accepting payments from GCash, and our Courier providers that will deliver to you are GoGo Express and LBC as well. Next slide, please. So, in our online shop, ladies and gentlemen, the HNI Inclusion Philippines online shop is temporarily closed under Alert Level 5, but it will continue to serve in areas under Alert Level 1 to 4 only. So, its operating hours are from 12 midnight to 11:59 in the evening. For a full list of orders, please visit the Hansen Inclusion Philippines Facebook page or email us at hansen.inclusion@gmail.com. Next slide, please. Again, as part of our continuing efforts to support our organization, we at Hansen Inclusion needs your help. To be honest, ladies and gentlemen, many of us are already been struggling with our financial problems in our organization. Sa totoo lang, karamihan ay nagkakaproblema sa ating mga gastusin. So, regardless, no matter what, it doesn't really matter if the amount is smaller or larger. It would be appreciated for you guys to help Hansen Inclusion Philippines as well. How? Scan and donate using GCash on the QR code that is flashed on your screen. Or if you want to do the Barya para sa Inclusion, you may donate using a coin bank or an alcansya, and you may donate using Union Bank as well. You'll see the QR codes for GCash and Union Bank on the social media pages of Hansen Inclusion Philippines. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are you waiting for? Please and please and please lang. Please continue to help Hansen Inclusion Philippines for its fundraising project. Please help Hansen Inclusion Philippines for its fundraising project. We're aiming to raise funds in our organization. Let us have the time to rebuild in order for us to have a bigger, better, and a bolder Hansen Inclusion Philippines. The proceeds from the sales in the online shop and for your donations will go to us here in Hansen Inclusion for the formality, for the expenses, and also the financial aid of the members due to the effects of this pandemic. So, guys, for those who did this, we'll be glad you did, and thank you for your continuous generosity and for your support in advance. So, okay. So if you want to buy some from accessories from Ate Lady Jane Flores, then you may order using you may check the Facebook page of L Jane Accessories through Facebook, and you may message her using WhatsApp, or you may contact her at 0951-791-3194 or 0916-167-4803. Next slide, please, Sir Mark. So if you have any problems with your computer, your laptop, your desktop, or if you have problems with your phones or your tablets, regardless if it's a Windows and Mac, Apple, Android, or iOS, or if you want to download games, music, or movies, Sir Mark Petita is here to help you. You may message him on Mark PC Laptop Repair Services by messaging him on Facebook, Mark Paulo Betita, or you may contact him at 0947-355-4759. And Sir Mark Betita will be happy to help you as well. Next slide, please. So here are some of the events coming up for the month of March in Best Buddies Philippines. On March 12, it's Perfect Friendship Pins. On March 14 to 17 is Spread the Word Inclusion with Best Buddies Philippines, the Guild of Thomasians Educators, and Special Olympics Philippines. On March 15 to 18 is the Ambassador Training with Nexus and Asurion. On March 16 is Wellness Wednesday with Coach Pepper and BeFit Active Buddies. On March 19 is the Beloved Friendship Bracelets. March 21 to 25 is Inclusion Week with Best Buddies Vinyl. And March 26, Jolly Friendship Jams. If you want to join these events, follow Best Buddies Philippines on Facebook and Instagram, send them a message, and they will send you the registration form and the link as well. So, just a reminder to those who are attending the activities of Best Buddies Philippines. Okay, Best Buddies Philippines is a non-profit, non-denominational, and a non-political organization. We support a clean and fair elections and do not endorse any political party or candidate. As members of the Best Buddies Philippines community, please refrain from endorsing a candidate during the activities of Best Buddies Philippines. And in Best Buddies Philippines, make a friend, be a friend. Next slide, please. We urge everyone to continue supporting Project Sold Out. We'd like to thank all the partner organizations, Hiraya Gallery, and Special Achievers, and all partner organizations for making this event possible. If you want to check this out, please check Special Achievers Facebook page as well. Next slide, please. So if you're feeling hungry, especially for your breakfast, lunch, dinner, merienda, or any occasion, then you have to order some of the foods from the Sobra Comfort Food and the Kuya Korea restaurant. On the Sobra Comfort Food restaurant, the menus are Tapa Sobra, chicken tocino, corned beef brisket, homemade spam, and beef salpicao. Sizes are ranged between solo to large, and prices are ranged between 265 pesos to 1,450 pesos. Next slide, please. Okay, for our rice trays, ladies and gentlemen, our menus are beef bulgogi, beef shawarma, beef gyudon, pork crackling bits, pork belly burnt ends, charred chicken, and boneless fried chicken. Sizes are ranged between solo to large, and prices are ranged between 265 pesos to 1,700 pesos. Next slide, please. For our fried chicken sandwiches, we have the fried chicken sandwiches, pulled pro sandwich, corned beef sandwich, and chicken tocino sandwich. Sizes are ranged between regular, large, solo, and box of fours, and prices are ranged between 320 pesos to 1,540 pesos. Next slide, please. For our pasta, we have mac and cheese and penne and gorgonzola. Prices are ranged between 290 pesos to 1,350 pesos, and sizes are ranged between solo to large. Next slide, please. How can you order there? Well, here are the steps. First, head over to the Sobra Comfort Food website. Select the dishes you want to order. Choose between pick up or delivery. Pay conveniently through any of the safe integrated payment methods, and your order is confirmed. Expect updates via text or email. Next slide, please. So, for our Kuya Korea restaurant, the menus are for the rice bowls, beef bibimbap, beef bulgogi, pork samgyup, and K-pop chicken. Prices are ranged between 195 to 220 pesos. For the chicken, for the boneless popcorn chicken, sizes arranged between half to whole and prices arranged between 235 to 435 pesos on the flavors of gochu, ganjang, chicken, and K-buffalo. Next slide, please. If you want to order there, please check the Kuya Korea website for your orders as well. On March 24, 2022, Thursday, during the Inclusion Week at Best Buddies Benilde, we have a webinar entitled Gender Inclusion and Safe Spaces from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. via Zoom. The speakers are Attorney Cheyenne Tiwan Monera and Amber Kiban. If you want to, this is a joint between the Office of the Vice President for Lasayan Mission and Student Life, Benilde Center for Inclusive Education, the Benilde Student Envoys, and Best Buddies Benilde. And there will be sign language interpreters for the deaf and the hard of hearing. So if you want to join, please check the Center for Inclusive Education Facebook page for the registration form as well. Next slide, please. Lastly, follow HNI Inclusion Philippines on the social media pages and its digital platforms as well. It would be appreciated for you guys to do this as early as now. Follow us on Facebook, HNI Inclusion PH, InkluRadyo, InkluSports, InkluNihan, and the online shop, Instagram, Hands on Inclusion PH, Twitter, HNI Pilipinas, Kumu, HNI Philippines, and subscribe to the Hands on Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel. So guys, for those who did this, thank you very much as well. Next slide, please. Let's have the time for our shout outs and greetings to Sir Mark Betita and Lady Jane Florese. Good evening to you and thank you for watching. To those who are celebrating their birthdays today, happy birthday and expect the more birthdays to come. To those who are celebrating their anniversaries, happy anniversary as well. Shout outs and greetings to my family, to Hands in Inclusion Philippines, Best Buddies Philippines, Best Buddies Benilde, and other PWD organizations, and to my high school and college friends as well. Shout outs to ang tropang PWD, Officer Mark Betita, and also, uh, to those who are watching, it may be a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you guys are in a good mood, but if not, you may use this time to improve on your mental health and your well being as well. To those who are watching me on InkluRadyo, thank you very much as well. If you missed this episode, it will be premiered on the next day on the Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure. Next slide, please. For our quote for the day, here from Lauren Gardner, the corporate vice president at Microsoft. There is transformational power in embracing diversity and inclusion because it leads to greater creativity and innovation for meeting the challenges and opportunities of any business. So that's why we continue to promote inclusion for all. Sir Mark, disable share screen, please. And on cam, please. Okay, so before we leave here, tomorrow it's the very historic day in the history of our organization as we celebrate the 5th anniversary of Hands in Inclusion Philippines. So, Hands in Inclusion Philippines is a community of volunteers that promotes proper inclusion of persons with disabilities in the Philippines. The purpose is to reach out to the proper channels of the public and the private sectors to give aid and support to those who deserve this help. We share their stories to help PWDs become accepted in society as individuals and to help them live as equals. Inclusion is our trust. to create awareness of what PWDs and our other benefactors are going through, how they can be supported and accepted in society as functioning individuals. Anthony Inclusion Philippines guiding statements are: we as a social awareness group encourage ordinary people to be informed of the inclusion of the major sectors of our society and its benefits by means of social media and other possible effective means. Our vision is that we see that because of inclusion, the major sectors of our society will be embraced and supported, starting from our network and towards the rest of the country and eventually the world. Through inclusion, we unify both our beneficiaries and the majority of our society. Hansen Inclusion Philippines was founded last March 8, 2017 by our founder, Roylan Gorospe Marlag, a Pasayeño self-advocate with autism. This initiative was started as Inclusion in Action. His agenda is to unite and to educate both citizens and netizens about PWD inclusion via the core values of Hansen Inclusion. At Hansen Inclusion, we put God first, truth first, people first, pro-Filipino culture, pro-neutrality rule, and pro-discipline. And despite all the achievements in the history of Hansen Inclusion Philippines for the past 5 years, ipinakita natin ang ating tatak para sa One Inclusion Nation at ang ating bayanihan sa buhay natin. Nakaranas kami ng pansamantalang pagsasara noong June 6, 2020, hindi kami nawala ng pag-asa at biyaya. Sir Mark, ano po ang inyong message for Hansen Inclusion for the anniversary tomorrow?
Na maging ano po tayo, maging positive po tayo sa buhay, na kahit na ano pong mangyari, laban lang. Walang bibitaw at lagi po magdarasal. Always stay positive and be happy in life. Yun po, maraming pong salamat.
And also, as part of our anniversary, the best gift for us for Hansen Inclusion is that I would like to appeal to all the members of Hansen Inclusion Philippines to observe proper decorum so that we don't have problems. Let us continue to have a good example. We must learn how to show good attitude and show to be professional, the discipline to other people, including the organization. Your cooperation and your undivided attention is highly encouraged. We also have the right to be considerate, to understand each other, and to be self-controlled. Dapat maging maunawain, maawain, at magalang. Act like a neutral person. Maging simple tayo. Act as a poor. Huwag tayo maging asal, elitista. At syempre, at higit sa lahat, huwag maging kampante at huwag ding matigas ang ulo. Bakit? Ito ay ginagawa natin para magiging mapayapa at maayos ang organisasyon na ito ng matagal. And the reason why we do this is for us to be more peaceful, decent, competitive, and to be organized and systematic organization in a long-term situation. And this is for us doing its best for being peaceful, organized, and systematic in the organization so that we can be at par with other PWD organizations that are organized, being more systematic, and being more cooperative as well. Meron kaming sapat na panahon para magsiayos ang ating sarili natin. Pero may mga sadyang mga pasaway, mga makukulit, at sa mga nangangampante, pwede pa rin mabago tayo. Apart from your patience and understanding, we need your help and for your prayers for the anticipated return of Hansen Inclusion Philippines in the future as a formal organization and to expect a fresh new start in our organization. So bukod po sa inyong pasensya at pangunawang, yung inyong pangunawa at ang inyong pasensya sa mga nanonood sa atin, hiniling po namin ang inyong panalangin at ang inyong tulong para sa pagbabalik ng HNI Inclusion Pilipinas sa panginaharap bilang isang non-government organization at sana magkaroon tayo ng bagong simula sa ating organisasyon. So, tomorrow, as we celebrate the anniversary, so happy 5th anniversary, Hands in Inclusion Philippines, and more power to our organization. Okay, and that's a wrap for our editorial episode for Monday, March 7, 2022. I'll see you again this coming Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. for the editorial Wednesday edition. On behalf of InkluRadyo and Enhancing Inclusion Philippines, I am your host, Carlos Miguel Kanahashi, and together with me is Mark Paulo Betita. Ni awa ang Diyos, makakaraos po tayo. Sama-sama tayong lalaban para sa pangarap, pamilya at bayan hanggang sa ating tatak para sa One Inclusion Nation. Muli, magandang gabi. May the Almighty God bless us all. Pagpalain nawa tayo ng poong may kapal. Sa Hands in Inclusion, ngayong ika-5 ng anibersaryo, makatotohanang inklusyon, angat buhay ang solusyon. Sa HNI, posible. Pilipinas, God first. All together. HNI, God first. Thank you very much for watching. Have a blessed evening to all and a goodbye for now. Bye-bye.